When I'm not Nancy's daughter, I'm Bella's mom, my first and most important job, Bella's mom. And I wanted to begin, though, as just to place us in time. It is September 10th. It is the eve of September 11th. So I'd ask us all just to stop and have a moment of silence for everybody who was killed on 9/11, the innocents who got on a plane or went to work or were working in service to try to rescue them. And for all those that we have lost since, particularly the ones we've lost to the war in Afghanistan. And just on World Suicide Prevention Day, just think of the people still carrying the burdens of 9/11 or of the service that emanated out from there. If we could just have a moment, please, together. Thank you. I really appreciate everybody being here, and so excited to be with the Levinson family and their family of friends. I know from Eve how active all of you are, and I know some of your work that we do together in the California Democratic Party and on our national races. I want to say a couple of things. One, really salute the activism that brought each of us here today. There are 100 different people, 100 different reasons to get involved. As one who is a child and a grandchild of people who were active in politics and are active in public service, I always look at those old pictures, right? And so you look at, the pictures of the abolitionists and the suffragists. You look at the pictures of the civil rights marchers. We think of our wonderful, dearly departed John Lewis, who some of us had the fortune to get to meet and actually march with down in Selma. We think of the people who marched on Washington, and we think of all of those who came before us or who paved the paths for us. And we think, what would I have done? What would I have done if I were alive when they were young? What would I have done during that time? Well, now you don't have to ask yourself that anymore, because now you are the democracy defenders. Now you know what you would have done. You are in the era of January 6th. You are in the era of voter suppression. You are in the era of attacks on women's rights and workers' rights. And we are in the era, the deadly pandemic, the deadly contagious pandemic of COVID and of misinformation, poisoning our people and poisoning our democratic system. But we have you. We are the recruits. We don't have to look at those pictures of marchers, because we're marching now, or rolling, or working from our seats. And in this case, we're marching with our fingers on the keypads as we dial for this recall. Many of us have worked for many years as volunteers in the California Democratic Party. I chaired our platform committee for years before I chaired the Women's Caucus. And we pushed our party to be on the vanguard of progressive issues. And we pushed our governor, Gavin Newsom, to take the lead. California leads the nation. And it's no secret that California Democrats lead the way. That's why we have the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, and the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, both from California. And that's why our governor, Gavin Newsom, has mobilized the biggest grassroots campaign in any governor's campaign in the history of California. Why? Because they wouldn't be coming after our votes if our votes didn't matter. They wouldn't be coming after Governor Newsom if his work on justice, on climate, on healthcare, and on equity didn't matter and didn't threaten the status quo. So what we're going to do as we go in to these phone calls is we are going to remember our individual call to service, the individual call to service for each and every one of us that brought us here on this phone, and that brought us here to this work. And when we call people and proudly say, I am a volunteer with California Democrats, calling you about the recall and urging you to vote no, because each of you fill in that because with your main reason for being here, your main reason for supporting Governor Newsom, your main reason to connect with people and encourage them to turn in that ballot. We have the numbers, we have the votes. We just need to turn them in. And when we do, and when we have a victory, it won't just be the victory for Gavin Newsom securing his job, but it will also secure our commitment and our state's commitment to justice and equality and building back better, building back together, building California forward, because that's what we're here to do. And we are not going to let our work be undone by the opposition. And we're not going to let our work be in vain because of voter cynicism or apathy. Let it not be said that when democracy was on the line, that we were silent. We spoke out, we voted. Those of us who are California voters have already sent our ballots in, and everybody calling is calling because democracy is on the ballot. So thank you all for what you do. I'm excited to phone with you. We had a live phone bank last night in San Francisco. It's the first time I'd been to one in a year and a half, and we were ringing bells so that everybody knew that someone got a positive response, which was a no vote. And so figure out your way to ring your own bell at home, celebrate each vote against the recall, because that vote that you get today on your phone call could be the vote that puts us over the top and puts us back on track. Thank you all very much for having me, and let's go win.